Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pipeline, where we discuss the latest news of the week, maybe even the past 2 weeks, because we missed last week. We're so sorry about that. We'll talk more about that soon, I'm sure. Tris is out today because they're busy working on a project, but we have Tom finally back from a 5-week Japan trip. Tom, how are you doing?
Doing well because I'm not jet lagged out of my mind right now, so I'm happy.
That's amazing. You just got back literally yesterday, our time, right?
Yeah, like at pretty much at noon yesterday. So I'm guessing in the afternoon I'll be like fine, then all of a sudden I'll be like going off a cliff in terms of being awake, and it'll be a struggle. But
And just so people know, like Tom was begging to be on Pipeline, so this is his own choosing. This is his own doing here.
yeah, I
Joey, how
wanted
are
to.
you? How are you doing, Joey?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a hectic week because I was working on like one video, and that was the we'll talk about it later, but it was the Pretendo Wii U guide. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty in depth actually. But I've seen a lot of people like, thanks. This is what I needed. Like, I needed a step-by-step guide on how to do this. So
I was praying to God I got everything like right. I don't want people bricking their Wii U's because of me.
No, that would be the worst. So
Yes.
especially because Nintendo does not repair Wii U's anymore, apparently. So
Nope.
yeah, just have to. I mean, granted, I can't imagine used Wii U's go for all that much these days, but still, it would be an unfortunate thing to happen. So
For sure.
all right. Well, let's start off with something that I wanted to talk about last week, of course, and we couldn't. And it's not really news per se. In fact, it's fake news. I wanted to talk about our April Fool's joke. So, real quick, everyone, you weren't able to cover Beyond Pipeline last week just due to scheduling change or schedules, and I had stayed up all night to work on the project. I'll talk more about that later too, I'm sure. So unfortunately, we missed talking about our April Fool's joke, which went over by and large really well. I think most people seem to at least enjoy it, if not, really liked it. Some people were a little burned by anything teasing Metro Prime 4.
Hey,
I thought it was hilarious. So, Tom?
well, you adding that 4 at the end, that really just like puts the playfulness of it. Like, hey guys, this is just a joke. Come on.
That's the cherry on top of the April Fool's Sunday.
I still need to. I've been meaning to do it for at least our patrons and our YouTube members. To show some of the earlier versions of how this concept evolved, because like it was changing, like slightly changing up until the last minute. Like that final 4 soundbite was the last thing I added to it. But Jan, are the incredible 3D artist who's made all of our like custom intros. He's the one who helped make this. How this usually works is we usually just give him like a dumb idea and then he runs with it. So this year I'm like, okay, what are people talking about? Of course, people want to know where Metro Prime 4 is, as Joey can attest to.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, what dumb thing can we do for Metro Prime 4? I'm like, 4. There has to be something more we can do with that. I'm like, of course, the golf thing. And to be fully honest, I didn't even know what 4 meant, like in golf. I just know what some people said. So I actually looked it up. And I'm like, oh, it's when you make a mistake and you want people to get out of the way of the ball, right? Like,
yeah, it's like when you slice it or go into the crowds or like hit it to where other people are playing. I have to use that term quite a lot.
Which I hear it a lot in Mario Golf as well. But what's even better now is when I added the soundbite of Samus saying 4. So for anyone who missed, by the way, in case somehow missed this, it was
I wonder if he's wearing green shoes.
Yeah, the whole idea is it's Metro Prime Golf. Metro Prime 4 being a golf term, and that gets revealed in the end. But what's perfect is I added the soundbite at the end, when the title card appears, and even looks like she botched a shot, like it curves toward the screen. I'm like, this is all too perfect. So Jan did an amazing job bringing it all together. I was the one who, after we had the initial template for the 3D segment, I'm like, you know what'd be fun? Doing it as like a development update. So then I went back, I started messing around with the footage from the original development update. I've done things. I messed around with like the colors of the jack, which I've never really had to do before. I'm like, I gotta try and mix it up a little bit to make it look so it's not immediately recognizable as the original footage. And then it occurred to me I could go for the green jacket look, which is like a pro golfer type thing. And then one of my friends who I showed an early preview to, he's like, when the person does the bow here, you could add a line about his shoes. I'm like, that's so dumb. It's perfect. Like it reveals a joke almost too early, but whatever. I was happy with it, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So.
I was thinking like at some point, oh, maybe they should like cut to some shoes or whatever. But I'm just like, it's funnier when you don't show the shoes, because it's like here he's talking about his shoes and he just doesn't show them. He just looks at them.
It's extra info about the universe that he's in right now. I mean, at good timing too. This is the Masters is on right now where they give the green jacket. They don't give shoes. They give a jacket, but right now it's happening.
That's a good point. And we had shown the shoes. They would I would probably made them golf shoes, and that would kind of really spoil the joke at that point, right?
Yeah.
So
right. And I was also thinking it's kind of funny because shortly after or before this came out, I don't know. They announced they announced Happy Gilmore 2. So
that's right.
You're
it was
welcome.
Perfect timing. I love that. It was almost serendipitous in that way.
That's real. I thought it was a joke that you guys were talking about.
It's real. It's really real. And Shooter McGavin's coming back too.
That's amazing. Shooter McGavin, the best villain of all time.
Yes.
Gage Plays says they love the April Fool's joke. Thank you, Gage. Yeah, it seems like most people did. There were a couple people who were a little burned by it or annoyed by it, but I think it passed the Joey test. I think, right? So that's
you messaged me on Discord like Metroid Prime 4 leak, and I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, this is fake, but let's see what this is. And then I immediately recognize the CGI, and it's the work of Jan. And when it was like halfway through and there was the golf stuff going on, I'm like, oh, Metroid Golf, so funny, guys. And then I'm like, wait a minute, please end this with Metroid Prime 4. Please end it with 4. And then it did, and I'm like, yes, 10 out of 10 April Fool's joke.
Nailed it. Yeah, it's. I didn't even tell the rest of the staff about the joke until we had like an early preview of it. So I wanted to test them. Like, is this a good idea? And luckily, it turned out to be. So all right. I'm glad we could talk about the April Fool's joke a bit. And I think Tom, didn't you help with something in this too? Or
I helped with feedback and stuff. I did the thumbnail. The key with this thumbnail is trying to use as realistic assets as possible while making it look a bit different, kind of like the green jacket situation. So I kind of just took a Metroid Prime 1 render and just kind of made it blue for the phase-on effect. We were talking about using the LinkedIn art for Metro Studios, but then you're saying like, Tom, I don't think many people actually know this. And it's like, yeah, I guess everyone's not just analyzing Nintendo images and marketing promo art all the time.
Yeah, no, you did a great job with the thumbnail. Like, it really did kind of sell the look as something new and authentic. When the trailer, of course, is anything but.
Yeah.
Rafe with a member chat. Thank you, Rafe. Says, hey guys, happy Friday. Do you think Nintendo will shadow drop anything for this month? Otherwise, we'll have to wait for June E3 season. Cheers. You know, that's actually going to be our topical freeze, or our topical freeze, Rafe. So thank you for the member chat. We'll be discussing that soon enough. So hang tight.
Good. I didn't know that was the topical freeze, so now I'm pretty excited to talk about it.
Yeah, we got stuff to talk about. All right. Speaking of which, we're gonna move on from our April Fool's joke. Although my favorite comment was people who wanted this to be a real game. Like
I want to play it. Yeah. I wanted this.
I even saw it posted like to Reddit and like other forums. People were like, I wish I were a real game. Like, I wish I could play it. I'm like, yeah, that's the worst part about these. Like, when you have like an actual good idea, you know, or like a fun idea at least. So
yeah. Totally.
All right. Let's move on to something that's actually real, seemingly. Being some of the news from Cinemacon that just happened. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Yes,
God,
yesterday.
Man, it was a long day. Where we got some actual good final like details on Sonic Movie 3, because they apparently showed off, I think, a few minutes worth of the movie along with like a teaser trailer, I believe, or at least some footage. And as part of this, like, some of the details are revealed is that Shadow has his bike, which isn't, I feel like, too surprising. But more importantly, for me at least, we have Fat Eggman. So Jim Carrey has been talking about this, I think, for a while, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And they're finally doing it. They're actually like giving him a reason to become the bigger character we recognize from the games. It almost sounds like they're pulling a bit of like a Thor issue or angle from Endgame.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. He's like, just let himself go because he's so depressed.
So Joey, tell us more about this. You covered the story yesterday, so
yeah, so pretty much everything that's come from discussingfilm.net, who are like the goats of movie coverage on like Twitter and stuff. They have their own website too, where they describe the CinemaCon footage. Basically, yeah, the teaser show Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik in his lab, but he's gained weight and he's let his old place go to the dumps, I guess, because there's just filled with junk and everything. I want to know how he survived that fall from Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, because it seemed like they could have killed him off if he wasn't going to come back. Like, it looked like a pretty convincing death sequence if that were the case.
Yeah, I guess they were just like, all right, we don't know if Jim's gonna retire, so we gotta like do a thing where he could live, he could not live. He had to live. You really can't have these movies without him. I really don't think. And then his hair is going crazy. I guess that means his mustache is gone crazy, unless he grew his hair back, which I doubt. And he's jokingly saying that he's been binging carbohydrates. I can already hear that line, just like, I've been binging carbohydrates, Agent Stone, or whatever. And then Agent Stone actually comes in and says, "We found him." I'm just like, oh, they found the boy, they found Shadow, and this basically confirms like he's enlisted the help of Shadow to defeat Sonic once and for all. So that's really cool. And then they cut to a fight with between Shadow and not just Sonic, but Knuckles and Tails too. I guess for this movie, they're really going to try to bring home the point. This is the ultimate life form. If he can take on all three of these dudes, then he's really powerful. And I just want to know what they're talking about when they say he's fighting on his motorbike in the sky. I'm trying to find that part. Like, what does that even look like? He's on his motorbike and he's in the sky fighting Sonic. Like, what?
Did he go off like a really high jump or something, or what?
Probably.
Did he drop off a helicopter from his bike? Like, what's going on there? But
hey, the most exciting news out of this for me is that confirmation there's a lot of Agent Stone again in different scenes.
Agent Stone is like the secret, like, best character that's not Dr. Robotnik.
Seriously, dude. Like, I love his intro in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where he's got the Mean Bean Cafe and that Sarah Bareilles song or whatever the heck is playing in the background.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah, and I love the end of this saying, the final shot of the exclusive footage showed Robotnik and Sonic away from a ring portal on an empty road. They both look grumpy and like they can't stand each other's company, implying that they're going to have to work together to defeat Shadow. And that part is basically just discussing films, speculation on the whole thing. You got to think for a fact that they're going to team up at some point, because at the end of most 3D Sonic games, Eggman always teams up with Sonic and his pals to defeat an even bigger threat.
Right.
And you got to think that's what's going to happen here too. Like, I don't think that's going to be Shadow though. Shadow's not exactly a villain. He's an anti-hero. So I feel like the Bio Lizard has to come in here from Sonic Adventure 2.
What if they pull, though, Joey? And we already made the endgame connection. What if they pull an Infinity War? What if they don't win this time?
That would be so brave. You know what's funny? I would love... you know what else they announced at this Paramount thing? They announced an R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action movie based off of the comic The Last Ronin. So I'm just crazy. Like, give us all the R-rated stuff. Not really. In this case, that wouldn't happen with Sonic. But yeah,
we had Kevin Feige on stage, whatever, swearing up a storm apparently because of Deadpool. So yeah, it's the R-rated films are back, I guess.
Yeah,
new thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but another important thing. What we were all hoping here would be the place they announced Shadow's voice actor.
Yeah,
but nope, still nothing, dude. Whoever this is has to be like someone like somehow mind-blowing or something. Like they're really teasing us with this. Like who could it be? There was rumors that it'd be Hayden Christensen. There were also rumors it'd be Robert Pattinson. And at this point, I really just don't know. I really
Nicolas
can't.
Cage.
So you have Nicholas. You have no bet. You have no prediction.
Though.
If you could just say one name, who would you predict, Joey?
Pedro Pascal. Not even kidding. Because I feel like he's got the voice for it. I really think he does, and he's the hotness right now. He is like the person everyone's talking about. Some people complain he's in too many things, but if you really think about it, he's not in that many things at the same time. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, I think going by that, if we want to go down that route of being in too many things, I mean, Chris Pratt's the obvious shoe-in.
Correct.
Then.
Yes, he's already Garfield. He's already Mario.
I wonder, would there be a thing in his contract like you cannot be another video game character right now?
Like the old Sony.
Yeah, the old Sony president. That's exactly it. How he's like, I'm going to hold a Wii controller. This will be fine for a Bridgestone commercial.
Sued instantly.
Dang.
Oh man, Koopa Dude wants Adam Driver as Shadow.
Yeah,
that could work.
Adam Driver is pretty good in what was it? I forget, but there's been a couple of unhinged movies he's been in recently have been really good. So.
We were talking about Hayden Christensen because he was Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker, but now it's just like here's Ben Solo over here also being the same character pretty much, and that's the thing, right? Like, I hear these rumors about Robert Pattinson, and it's just like, okay, because he was Batman, he's just going to do his Batman voice, and then Hayden Christensen going to come in and be like, "You underestimate my power," or whatever he says in the prequels, and I'm just like, those are safe options.
Yeah,
let's give it a little more risk. Like even Idris Elba had his own take on the character on Knuckles, because Knuckles didn't have a somewhat British accent in the games.
Andre,
so,
highlight that Keanu Reeves.
Duh, dude. I think here's the thing. He is my number one pick, and that's why I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think
found it.
Yes.
Keith David, that's also another great choice. So.
Oh man, I was dying for this man to play Shadow, but I don't think it's going to happen at this point just because it's too perfect, if that makes sense.
Sorry,
Keith David.
Keith David.
Yeah,
Keith David would be great. I mean, I feel like I feel like there aren't a lot of characters where I can feel like multiple voices will work, but I feel like Shadow's maybe it's just me being less of a Sonic fan. Just by being the number one Sonic fan of all time, of course. But I can picture like a number of voices working for this character, right? Like,
yeah.
So it just needs to be someone deep, kind of gruff, have like a slight edge to it, and then perfect.
Everyone but Alan May Cry's choice of Gilbert Gottfried.
Good old Alan over here, Gilbert Gottfried, R.I.P.
Yeah. Oh man. So Joey, seeing this news, like finally hearing about some of the first footage of this movie, what was your reaction? Like, is this all sounding good to you? Like, is this what you want from Sonic 3?
Oh yeah, totally. Like I think this is they're going in the right direction here, and it doesn't sound like they're going like full blown Sonic Adventure 2 at least yet. Mainly because Shadow didn't have a motorbike in Sonic Adventure 2. You said that wasn't surprising, Andre, but I think it kind of is. I feel like there could have been like a world where they didn't put his motorcycle in this movie, because realistically, he's only had a motorcycle in just a few games, not like every single game he's been in. So yeah, it sounds pretty good. I still just need to see it. I really just show me this movie. Text is one thing, but I need to see this with my eyeballs. Paramount, but they just wrapped filming like how many weeks ago, so they still got some footage. I'm willing to bet we'll see something around the time of Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why it didn't seem too surprising for me, at least, is because hadn't they just shown off the motorcycle for the TV show as well, or something? Or...
I made a little bit of a theory short video saying like, does Knuckles having a motorcycle hint that Shadow will also have a motorcycle? Because if you're going to give a motorcycle to Knuckles, why wouldn't you give one to Shadow?
Right.
And you also just reminded me that I guess Sega released a render or something of a Shadow motorcycle for the Year of Shadow. So yeah, I totally forgot about that. So yeah, I guess like it's time to give Shadow a gun again too.
Just shout out to you, Joey, for thinking of the Year of Shadow weeks ago. So
you called it.
Yeah, I think most people kind of assumed that it was going to be the Year of Shadow anyway, but thank you so much. I will take full credit for that.
Following in that Year of Luigi footprint, although I think that was like Nintendo's lowest performing year, so let's hope Sega doesn't have the same problem.
Yeah, what did they come out with in the Year of Luigi? Was it Luigi's Mansion 2 / Dark Moon? Mario 3D World? Oh, Dr. Luigi? That's right.
I think it was that year. I don't know.
New Super Luigi U?
Yeah.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, but it wasn't until right after the Year of Luigi that we got the Luigi Death Stare in Mario Kart 8. Right.
Yeah,
and that's because he was mad that the Year of Luigi was over.
It all makes sense. The perfect Luigi canon. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on then to our next story, or multiple stories, I guess, being the III Initiative gaming showcase that happened yesterday, in which we got a new Prince of Persia, I believe, and several other brand new announcements. And yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see another Prince of Persia so soon. Like, didn't we just have one? But
yeah, it's interesting because this Prince of Persia game is not developed by Ubisoft. It's developed by who's the developer?
It's
Tom?
Dead Cells developer.
Yes, I forgot their name, but yeah, they announced a Prince of Persia game here. It's I didn't really know what to expect from this showcase, except for it was III, so you think indies, right? Because of course. And I went in expecting like, okay, some games that are not going to have like big IPs attached to their names, but they're going to be like pretty interesting. Start off with Slay the Spire 2, a game a series I'm not really into, but I know is a big deal. They announced Vampire Survivors is coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4. But they concluded the show with this Prince of Persia game called The Rogue Prince of Persia, which was leaked ahead of time. So it wasn't like the biggest surprise, but I wasn't expecting it to be at this showcase.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what the title sounds like. It is a Prince of Persia roguelike game. And some people got to already go hands-on with it before the showcase. So, and they said, like, if you're a fan of Dead Cells, you're a fan of Prince of Persia, this is the game for you. And Dead Cells, I've never beaten Dead Cells, but I played a lot of it, and yeah, that game is pretty much a masterpiece. So
Yeah,
Sylvie says Dead Cells with crossover with Prince of Persia, sign me up.
Yes, it looks really good. What kind of a bummer is it's coming out on Steam first, Steam only, so it's not coming to consoles soon, and it's going to be in early access.
Yeah.
But I don't just if you have a computer, I don't think this is going to require a whole lot of horsepower to run. So
no, it helps them with early access to kind of polish the game and
right
work out the gameplay loop or how things generated. I found at this showcase they kept it so snappy, and they said there's no narrator, but there was personality in the different text captions. Like on a few early on, they're joking about surprising how nothing was leaked, or you see any time where it's on that background. But it's almost too fast, where it's like you don't get a moment to relax. They had one break in it. So I wonder if they will change going forward. But I mean, they basically, for the first time out, I feel like they almost nailed the showcase formula.
So are you saying it was just back-to-back trailers or something?
Yes.
Or,
yeah.
Okay.
With tiny little text blurbs in between. So, but even the trailers themselves are paced so quickly, especially at the beginning. Like the Kill Knight trailer, that's just like, brace yourself. But you need peaks and valleys with slow points. Things like What the Car, they helped in this.
Yeah, it's such a delicate balance, I feel like. Because there's times where, some showcases do slow down, like dive deeper into a game, but it just feels kind of redundant,
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do kind of need those moments, I think, to, for one, help let what you just saw set in, help you remember it.
Yeah.
And also just so it doesn't feel like you're just watching a string of commercials, which I kind of hate that feeling, even if that is ultimately what it still is,
Just give us the E3 era cringe again with Mr. Caffeine and stuff like that. We had that almost.
Bring back the Wii music drummer.
Yes, please.
Bring back Ancient Crab Battles.
Yes.
So with this one, they had a couple developers show up briefly before their trailer, and that did help a little bit. And they kept it very short, so it didn't kill the pacing.
Okay.
I find with this one, like, they basically went from world premieres, they had a world premiere voice, to things like Chia on Switch, the release date for that. You can watch a review for that Adam did when it's on different platforms, and maybe like new features and stuff. So What the Car had a demo launched at the same time, so they mixed up a bit. I want to give a shout out to Dino Lords, because it starts out looking like a generic trailer, like I will never play this game, to all of a sudden having medieval times and then riding dinosaurs. It's like, this is fantastic idea.
Yeah, that looks interesting. It's still like a strategy game, so it's a little bit at the beginning. Andre, the Dino Lords.
Shadow of Doubt there.
Is
this is not it. Oh man, I wish. Oh, there it is. There it is.
That was
no, I go back.
I went too far.
You went too far. That Vampire Survivors trailer.
Also,
there it is.
That's pretty sick. All right.
If Star Fox Adventures was a strategy game.
Actually, yeah. You see me got like the grass tech.
Dude, I was watching this on my phone on the couch with like my family by my side, and my wife Crystal was watching with me, and I'm like, yeah, this looks like what? Dinosaurs? And we were like, is that Stegosauruses?
It's so funny because right now Disney at Disney World is in the process of redeveloping its dinosaur land into something completely unrelated. And people are like, people always love dinosaurs. Why are you getting rid of the dinosaurs? People love dinosaurs.
my zoo, my local zoo, the Sacramento Zoo,
has dinosaurs?
Yes, they do. Straight up. Well, they're animatronic dinosaurs, but like
What?
they were supposed to have them for like a limited time, but I think they kept them because like the kids love them. They kept coming back for them. So yeah, that's what my son loves. He loves looking at the big dinosaurs. It's like a T-Rex that he just loves looking at. It's so
it's great. I mean, they look like fantasy creatures. Like, how do these things ever exist? You know? And,
Yeah.
really though.
Well,
And now
like whales, they still exist. But
well, whales are boring. I'm just kidding. They're so cool. But
I still have
you
not,
take a
like,
humpback
ever seen a
whale,
whale.
jump
Like,
out of the water, Joey. Come on.
I've never seen that. Like, I've never seen a whale like in the wild. You know, like I
Me
want to see that one
either.
of these days.
I've only
Like,
killer whales I've seen in a while. That's the bit, but that's a dolphin, so I still have to see a real whale.
yeah, the name's a lie.
I love you're just like killer whales. That's a dolphin.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Get out of here, killer
They
whales.
kill sharks, though. I mean, I almost, if I was swimming, I almost rather see a shark than a killer whale. Killer whales are.
Here's the thing: killer whales do not attack humans. There is not, except for like the what was that called? In the captivity, yeah. But they never attack humans in the wild. Like for some reason, that's like a rule they have amongst each other. I feel like that's the only explanation as to why they never kill humans.
We have a question from Johnny, completely unrelated. One question for Joey: are you excited for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon? And I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, I'm not unexcited, if that makes sense. I'm curious to check it out, but it's just like the series already peaked with 3. So, and I decided to just play my 3DS copy that I got a while ago but never played. I decided to just play that last Halloween season just because it's something new, and then I was going to replay 3 after that, which I did for a bit. 2 is just, that game it's good, but when you compare it to like 3, it's not that great. And 2 is just Dark Moon, whatever it's called. Everything just feels slow. It's just everything's so slow because every time you beat a mission, you have to warp back to the lab, and then you got to warp back to the mansion, and it's just like they could have streamlined this better. And I understand they were designing it was a handheld game, so they had to like design stuff around that, right? But even still, I thought they could have done it way better.
Nintendo Dawn is saying, "What is a Dark Moon?" Spoken like a true European, because there's only Luigi's Mansion 2 there, which now is worldwide. It
should have always been. I don't understand why they had to have that stupid subtitle in America. No. They're like, Americans don't understand numbers. Let's give them something dark and mysterious.
It's like the angry Kirby on the American box art, you know.
Or the Angry Peach.
Angry Peach. Yeah, that's right. Or like, whatever that was. We have is this breaking news from Tristan? Apparently, Avatar elements coming to Fortnite. Now, are we talking Avatar the Airbender, or the only Avatar that matters being James Cameron's Avatar?
Oh no, Andre, what have you done? You've unleashed the millennial/Gen Z rage. Okay, but I think they're talking about. I feel like they're talking about The Last Airbender because I heard about that. Dude, The Last Airbender is peak. Okay. It is peak, Andre. It is absolutely peak. That show is so good. Yeah, Airbender, right? Like, I don't know if like, no, Andre, it's really good. You got to give it a chance. I swear to God.
I tried watching the Netflix version of what was it? That stretchy guy. What was that show called? What?
The stretchy guy? What are you talking about?
They're live action adaptation.
One Piece.
Yeah.
One Piece.
Try watching that, couldn't get into it. I'm like, this is too goofy. So
well, yeah, that's One Piece though. But I don't know. You might have missed the boat on it, Andre. It's got to be a thing like you grow up with. But I still feel like that story is just so good. Oh, we do have kind of a breaking news thing, Andre, that I do feel like would be really good to talk about. They just released a new poster for Knuckles. And you have to see it. So go to. I'll send you the link on Discord right now.
Just tell me where to go. It'd be easier, actually.
Go to Discussing Film on Twitter.
Okay.
This is kind of. This looks really good.
Let me bring it up. Let's check this out. We got breaking news here, everyone. Okay, wait. I don't see it.
It was posted 5 minutes ago.
Oh wait, they have an old like decommissioned Twitter account too, or something.
I don't know. Go to Discuss. It's the first thing that should pop up.
Yeah. So it says his watch begins at the top.
Okay, I actually might need a link. Can you send me the link?
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's not on Disbussing Film. All right.
Every Google account is leading me to our Google search result. Oh, that's a sweet poster. Oh man. Okay, here we go, chat. There's that poster.
It's the Iron Throne.
It is straight up. That's Game of Thrones right there. What's that throne made out of, though? It's
so many different
golf club.
household items. This looks like the scene in the movie where he turns the living room into his own like death arena or something.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And it's funny because the Hound from Game of Thrones is the villain in this movie.
That's all, man. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yes, George Lucas, thank you so much.
All right. Well, that's and that starts pretty soon. Yeah, in a couple
April
weeks.
26th. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I gotta hope like it's gonna end with a tease for Sonic Movie 3, which is why they didn't show anything public for Sonic Movie 3. They're waiting for Knuckles to come out, maybe. I'm not quite sure.
I think it has to. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to tie in some way. So,
yeah, looks really good.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to another story. This being this is not technically new news because it relates to GDC, but as you had reported, Joey, I believe during GDC, Nintendo had a couple of panels, including one from Mario Wonder, in which it talked about some of the cut Wonder effects and like early beta footage of it. Now, we didn't have footage until now. We have some screenshots, but we have footage of that beta. Of what Mario Wonder looked like in beta. So let's check out these videos real quick. You can see like an earlier Mario model. They're experimenting with the Wonder Flower effect and the effect that it has. And yeah, it's interesting because I look at this and at first I'm like, I really like that Mario. It's really cute. But the more you watch it in motion, the more off it kind of looks to me. So I don't know what that's about. Like I like how it looks in still form, but like when he starts moving, I'm like, that's a little weird. Anyone else?
I kind of understand it. Yeah.
He's a little bit too chubby, I guess.
He's pulling over Dr. Eggman.
I guess like moving in motion. I mean, well, that's why they have beta prototypes and stuff to work out those bugs.
No, exactly. That's what's interesting to see the process they went through to arrive at the end result. And kind of to that in that sense, we get a look at a cut Wonder effect too. The one you had covered, Joey, with the massive head here, and you're being eaten by bees, I think.
Yes. How morbid. I love it.
And it's amazing. And I'm like, why did this get cut? It's so good.
Somebody mentioned, I don't know if this was in the conference, like this would have been like kind of just not a fun Wonder effect because there's no way to like dodge the bees really. So
you have to have one person as it, and like maybe other people can kill the bees. Like, but if you had 4 people with it, it'd be.
And there's gotta be ways around it. Like one easy idea is like there's pesticide every 30 seconds or so. So you're running the next pesticide section, scare off the bees, and then so it kind of puts you under a time limit to avoid taking damage.
Like stop and go in Donkey Kong Country.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Good stop and go station. Good callback. Also, you could kind of tie it back to Donkey Kong 3 with Stanley, the Insecta. What were they called?
I don't know about this person. Stanley
from the arcade game Donkey Kong 3.
Oh, you see, I'm too young to know that.
And stuff. All right. Anyways, I thought that was a fun look back.
I'm sorry, my friend like messaged me in the middle of this, like, "Yo, Shadow voice actor announced." I'm just like, but he's just trolling me right now, so I'm just like,
"Oh, your friend didn't leave you alone."
I know. I told him I'm live streaming right now. Don't interrupt me unless you actually have
troll nonsense, no less.
My God,
what a jerk! All right.
Oh yeah, Vanilla Soup in the chat's the one who trolled me. Block him. Ban him.
Oh, Vanilla Soup. You are a jerk, Vanilla Soup.
Yes.
All right. Anything else on the Mario Wonder stuff?
Not really. I hope Mario Wonder 2 or whatever it's called. It's not Hayden. Shut up. In the chat, I'm still talking to him. But yeah, I hope ideas like this, like, are you friend? And now you're blocking me. I hope ideas like this come to fruition in like a new 2D Mario game, but like they find a way to make it better, because I too understand why they kept this, but I think it's still vastly more interesting than any other Wonder effect in the game, really.
That's a good idea, Joey. Like if they had so many ideas left over still, if they did like a Mario Galaxy 2 type situation to get another one out quickly.
Exactly. Yeah. I think having the first game, like, it's a proof of concept, right? Like people liked it, now it can go a little further with it. And that's what Mario Galaxy 2 did. Like it took like this kind of out there concept and just ran with it, went even more nuts. And I would love to see that on Mario Wonder. Like, what are the crazy effects that were too far for them at the time that wouldn't be too far now? I want to see that. So
having online with friends who actually affect each other.
Dang!
That is a perfect transition, Tom, into our next story, which I imagine you did on purpose. But a few days ago, sadly, Monday, Nintendo finally turned. I say finally, as if this was something that should have happened sooner when it isn't. Nintendo shut off the Wii U and 3DS servers, and it was very sad. Luckily, there are workarounds now. We have a couple videos on the channel telling you how you can use what's called the Pretendo network to keep playing these games online. But in official capacity, those systems are basically entirely offline now. And so I hosted a final stream, all of which, Joey and Tris were on it as well, where we played through a bunch of games with the community. It was a lot of fun. I was actually surprised how well the stream did. People seem to be really passionate about these systems, and the fact that they were officially going offline, forever. Even though we had a small preview of that last year when the servers, unintentionally went offline for 3, 4, 5 months, something
That was
absurd like
weird.
that.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I had a blast. It was so fun playing with everyone, playing these games I hadn't revisited in years. Even the earlier, even versions of games that were on Switch, like Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. It was fun to go back to the original versions because they are different. Smash Brothers Wii U, is a little slower. Mario Kart 8 is less chaotic because there's literally half the items in play. And we played, Mario Maker, a game that I adore and I feel like hasn't fully been recaptured since. And it's a shame that, again, officially these are offline now, and that sucks.
Yeah, I was playing Splatoon with some people for about 2 hours there, and that was really fun also. Like, it makes you want to go back and play like the Splatoon games that are already like not shut down. But I have Pretendo on my Wii U, but for some reason Splatoon's still not working on my Wii U. I don't understand that. I should mention, like, we did cover that there's some people might get a Splatoon error code and still be unable to play online if they use Pretendo. But the lead developer of Pretendo, John D. Barrow, I believe his name is, informed us that they're looking into it, and it has something to do with the game's Spot Pass features, which handles stage rotation and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully, Pretendo's still very much a work in progress type of build, but I looked at their funding. They're getting like lots of funding from fans for the next few months. So it's going to be exciting to see where Pretendo goes as a platform from here.
That's great. Yeah, no, it's awesome that exists. Like, it's so cool that the community is able to step up, in ways Nintendo won't now, because it's run by passion now. Nintendo's concerned about the money aspect, of course, whereas fans, like, they just want to run it because they're passionate about it. And it's awesome to see that, especially, what was I going to say? Oh, and especially because now there's that method that they released the day that the Wii U was shutting down, where you don't even have to you don't have to modify your system to play on Pretendo. It's more limited, but it's easy. I did it. It took me literally like 5 minutes, and I got up and running. And besides the Splatoon issue, it's been running perfectly. So
yeah, I would assume like I wouldn't want to brick my Wii U at this point. Like I would want to save it. So that's a great method. I wonder if the Xbox going back, like they just created a preservation team, didn't they? So
they did, yeah.
Like, at least maybe that'll help encourage other big companies to do the same.
Well, you know what's crazy, right? I can still play PS3 games online. I'm pretty sure. Those servers I don't think shut down. They were also about to shut down the PS3 online store and the PS Vita online store. But then after so much backlash, Sony stopped doing that. Very interesting how Nintendo's just not like that at all. So I don't know. It's just, it doesn't rub me the right way.
Which is all the more reason why the Switch 2 better be backwards compatible to ensure that the Switch library won't go anywhere, that if it's tied up in the Switch 2, they're going to have to keep it alive as part of it. And I think with NSO, as part of the whole thing, I imagine that's going to be what they do. I don't want them to hit reset again on the entire library, or at least the NSO game library. That'd be very annoying. Yeah,
Sylvie in the chat said PS3 game servers are still online.
That's awesome.
If you want to play MAG online, you can do it.
That's great.
I still
game's probably shut down. I don't know.
It's not online, but I bought it at one point when the store was going to shut down. God Hand by Shinji Mikami. I bought that.
Nice.
With the reboot of the servers. I mean, we already went through this with the virtual console. It's like we started again. I don't want to live through another NSO starting all over again. Like, I understand why people spend tons to buy the old games, to just have them. And yeah, because you don't know what Nintendo's going to do next. So
yeah, you never really truly do. And speaking of which, we'll be talking about that in our topical freeze segment again coming up soon. But yeah, sad days for the Wii U and 3DS, even if they do have a second lease on life in a way with Pretendo, which is awesome. Also, I loved the fact that he held it on the fact this happened on the day of the eclipse was perfect for using the Majora's Mask Moon imagery.
Yes.
It was too good. But yeah, that was a super fun stream. So it was awesome. A huge stream too. We had like 2,500, 3,000 people watching it at any given time, which was amazing. And yeah, just a fun way to send it out. Like, it was a bittersweet day, you know. Like, I mean, realistically, we weren't going to be playing the Wii U much, you know, in the future. So it was nice that we all had a reason to revisit it for a day at least.
For sure.
And now with Pretendo, we can keep revisiting it. So,
quick question: with Pretendo getting funding from people, do you think lawyers are going to step in?
I don't want to chance it. I don't want to risk bringing that into reality, Tom. So
I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, let's hope not.
I mean, really though, like, you got to think they already had lawyers to figure out if what they're doing is kosher, but who knows? Companies like to play dirty.
So I know. Well, wasn't it just Bandai Namco apparently like issuing copyright takedowns or something earlier today based on mods? I guess so.
Oh, interesting. I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, I for something involving is it the new Tekken or
It might.
Yeah, I forget what it was exactly, but in any case, kind of related to this news. So one of the big things with the server shutting down is there was that project. I forget what it was called. Joey, do you remember the name of the Mario Maker project?
Yeah. Was it Team 100%? I believe.
I think that was it. Yeah. So their goal had
Team 0%. Team 0%.
Team 0. Thank you.
Yes.
So their goal was to complete every single Mario Maker level. Like if it had been published to the servers, they wanted to make sure that every level had been cleared at least once by a person. Now the thing is, they had accomplished that goal a couple of weeks ago. They pulled it off, but there was an asterisk on that because apparently they weren't counting any levels that were created with or had only been beaten or were designed to have only been beaten by a tool assisted essentially a speed run, like a tool assisted playthrough. Which I thought, I get it, but that felt a little lame, you know. It's like, all right, so you didn't beat every level, you know, and they had the asterisk there to kind of like explain it away. But luckily that isn't actually the case because someone at SandyX91SMM2 on Twitter, they actually beat that level, trimming the herbs. Trimming the herbs.
Trimming the herbs. I think herbs.
You don't pronounce the
herbs.
We do like 99% of the name.
They managed to pull it off. They, without using tools, using only their human hands, they managed to beat this level, which is freaking awesome because I thought, you know, it has to be possible, right? Like, it's not that long of a level. Yes, it probably requires frame perfect inputs, but I've seen people do crazier things. Surely someone can do it. Someone did in time before the server shut down, and I'm so happy they did. So Team 0% truly did meet their goal in actually beating every level. So hats off to them for pulling it off because that is amazing.
Yeah, really. Like, these Mario Maker players are dedicated. I could never. I wanted to see this person's reaction when they finally beat it. Like, really though.
I think they linked to the stream right here, so you can. Oh, I guess they're not on camera though, are they?
No, they're not. That's
we can hear them.
They need all kinds of focus.
Yeah, exactly. No distractions. I mean, I was trying to replay my own
Meat Boy level,
Super Meat Bros level, and even that was frustrating me. Like that for a period of time was basically the hardest Mario Maker level in that I killed more Marios than anyone else's levels for years. And I'm like, yeah, this is actually pretty tough. I did get after like 15 minutes, maybe a little less. But you know, in these days, this level is actually pretty easy compared to the true kinds of levels that exist now. But
yeah, really.
All right. I think we have one more story here, everyone, being John Cena posting out exactly posting out of nowhere the Zelda sprite, which a lot of people start wondering, like, why is he teasing? Like, why is he posting this? Is he teasing being in the live action Zelda movie, which we now know is being made? But Joey, I don't know. What's your take on this? Does it mean anything?
This means nothing. Everybody, calm down.
Why,
John
Joey?
Cena's Instagram. Just click on that. Click on that name, Andre. Let's look at John Cena's Instagram. None of these photos have captions.
Wait,
at
hold
all.
on.
Oh
There's
man, is that gonna be a Punch-Out movie?
It's gonna be a exactly live action
Yes.
Punch-Out, Joey.
Really though, but just keep scrolling down. This man posts the most random stuff of all time with no captions whatsoever. Dang it, Andre. Get yourself an Instagram.
I'm on my incognito account, so I can.
Oh, that makes sense. But yeah, so this is nothing. He was probably people are speculating that if that post means anything, it has to do with the wrestler Cody Rhodes, who is a very big Zelda fan. He was even on Nintendo's YouTube channel like 12 13 years ago, talking about his first Zelda game that he played, which was Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link. And so yeah, he's been on like WrestleMania shows talking about Zelda, and he's like one of the big players in WrestleMania this year. So yeah, that's probably what, if anything, that's what this has to do with. I don't know. I can't explain the Punch-Out post either. But yeah, this has nothing. I don't think this has anything to do with the Zelda movie, and we're not going to hear anything about this movie for a long time, guaranteed. So I don't think we're going to hear about the cast of this movie for a while, dude. It's just going to be a long time, and hopefully it's worth the wait.
So he's like, they just allowed anyone in their videos 12 years ago.
Dang. John Cena was in a Nintendo video also. He was for that Nintendo Switch Anywhere ad, which Paul Gale, our very own Paul Gale, I found out was in. I was looking at footage of it, and I'm just like, it's Paul!
Palero Joe says, I think John Cena should make a cameo in the Zelda movie, just so. Like, I feel like, I don't think this is teasing anything, but I feel like he could fit in a Zelda movie, just not as Link.
Right. He would play. He would play. I could see him as a Goron, of course, or like, yeah. Wouldn't
The Rock be a great Goron?
Oh my gosh, yes, he could, because he is The Rock.
Yes, exactly.
I was joking, like hindsight, he could be Tingle, but I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, I think that's another thing people were saying. It could be Tingle. Oh yeah, you said that, Tom. You regretted not putting him as Tingle in the thumbnail.
Well, like those construction workers, if they were in the movie, he could be one of them, no problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He could be Bronson, or whatever that. All the other sons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't think this is anything, man, right? Nothing. Just a random image. In fact, I think some people are even. I don't know if you mentioned this, Joey. Maybe you did. Some people are even relating it to like a Shield comment or Shield.
Yeah, there was something about a shield in WrestleMania that I don't quite understand. But people in the chat are also saying like Cody Rhodes is now a WWE champion, so good for him. Good for him. I don't really watch wrestling, but I respect it. I'm just like, there's people. Tom, you were saying on Discord the other day, like, I stopped watching wrestling because there was no wrestling or whatever. And I'm like, oh, nobody watches it for the wrestling, dude. It's the drama. That's all it is. WrestleMania is just days of our lives, but for dudes. Like, it's just, that's what it is.
They're still athletes, though. I mean, and they still take a beating out there.
Oh, dude, yeah, they break bones for the bit. Like, they were like, okay, I'm going to jump off this 50-foot like fall, and I'm going to break every bone in my body, but I'm going to get paid. So,
yeah, I've seen The Wrestler. I know how rough it can be.
Yes.
That movie's awesome, by the way, but also very depressing. So,
all right, James in the chat. Sonic 3 Castle got taken down. Don't mess with me right now. You gotta source your stuff if you're gonna lie to me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm on the verge. I need to find out who Shadow is. So I'm like, people are gonna be torturing me about this. I know it.
Joey's out there on his motorcycle, finding out who Shadow is, doing digging. Up.
Yes, going to Pumpkin Hill.
Pumpkin Hill, yeah. All right. Well, I think it's about time for us to move on to our semi-regular segment, being Topical Freeze. And this time, I want to just kind of focus on the general state of Nintendo, especially as it relates to this month, because there were, I believe, some rumblings not that long ago of there potentially being a direct this month. But interestingly, I think one of the the main guy who had been teasing a direct or mentioning a direct is now saying that's no longer the case. So, I don't know how much stock I put into that originally in any case, but I wanted to get a feeling from all of us how we're feeling on Nintendo right now. Like, do we think, how do we feel about Nintendo in this moment? Do we think they have something coming up this month at all? If so, what is it going to be?
I don't even know anymore. I have been like anticipating something like this month, like just hoping there's some big news dropping every week, like hoping there's a direct announcement or what have you. But it doesn't seem like there's anything happening in that case, and I don't know. I'm just kind of bored with Nintendo right now. Like it's just for like so far this year, there just hasn't been anything like that enticing. Like, yeah, there have been games, but nothing that really appeals to me. I stopped playing Princess Peach because it's just like, well, the guide is done, thanks to largely in part to Dawn giving me footage for the rest of the levels I didn't play. So now I'm just like, okay, I have no desire to beat that game now. And Mario vs. Donkey Kong is like something I don't really care about. So I don't know. Is this the calm before the storm? Hopefully in June at the latest. I hope so. I'm just like, I want Nintendo to do something that excites me. And right now there's not much going on right now.
Wow, we got Thousand Year Door coming up pretty soon. That's that will be the excitement.
Oh yeah, that's
maybe
next month, huh?
What's there? They were talking about maybe an indie world showcase coming up too. So
that was supposed to be last month.
Oh,
so and that didn't happen. So now I'm just like, is there even going to be an April direct? But I don't know.
Yeah, it's been very slow. Not a whole lot in the way of Nintendo news or announcements, and even their upcoming games, which I think we only really know of two now, being Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2. They're both remasters / remakes. So I'll play Thousand Year Door. I'd like the original. I'm sure I'll like the remake, but it's ultimately the same thing I've played before, minus whatever changes or tweaks they make, which probably won't be that significant, I imagine. So it's hard to get that excited. It's like, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna look a little better and run at half the frame rate for some reason.
That will always irk me. I'm gonna be honest, Andre. I'm just kind of like, yeah, cool, it looks better, but like it's 60 frames.
Not smooth. Yeah, it's like, really, guys, you couldn't figure that out. Maybe it'll be a Switch 2 feature when you play on that. Who knows? And it's not a game that needs 60. It is a little annoying though that they couldn't. I think they went about it wrong. Like what they should have done was made 60 the baseline and then make the visuals accommodate that. So if it has to look a little less good than it does now, fine. We wouldn't know the difference really. It's just have it run at 60, but it's a minor point. But yeah, I think Nintendo, they're gonna have to announce something sooner or later, and it is feeling closer to the tail end of Nintendo's systems in the past than I was expecting it to right now.
Yeah.
The Super Princess Peach was a new game, but I think I wasn't part of the target demographic for that one, clearly. And while I had fun with it, it just kind of came and went. I've already basically forgotten that entire experience. And there's really nothing to nothing really right now to look forward to beyond the Switch 2 and Metroid Prime 4. Those are the only things we know about, and one of those hasn't even been officially confirmed. So
really though, yeah. Nintendo says it's also Endless Ocean.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. There's no hype around that game.
No,
people aren't excited for that one.
Yeah,
it looks fine, but it's just like, I don't know. Am I really gonna invite my friends over to play Endless Ocean online? It's very interesting.
To be fair, it would be weird to invite your friends over to play an online game together.
Oh, that's what I meant is invite my friends over through online.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes,
yeah.
But yeah, it's like their investors meeting is this month, I believe, and it's a big one too. It's like the end of the year, pretty much, right?
I believe, yeah, the end of the fiscal year, I believe, right? So that is when So I think Joey, you had proposed this before to me, to at least in our internal staff, that is also the same time of year when they had announced when they had mentioned the NX, right?
Yeah. Well, we already knew the NX was a thing, but that's when they announced when the NX was coming out, which was March.
Right.
And then they announced that Zelda would be a cross-gen for that, and then it was going to be delayed again to launch with the NX. So yeah, that was an unusually eventful press or what was it called? Investors meeting. That was unusually eventful. It could have been a direct on its own, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I don't know. I feel like they gotta say something like before that investors call, or even on that investors call. I'm not. Yeah,
I'll counter that though. They now have movies and they have theme parks they can fill the gaps with, like Donkey Kong Land. They'd be like, "Hey, Donkey Kong Land official release date." Bam.
I mean, sure, but how long is that going to take? I don't know if that's something, because they've already talked about them in previous investor calls. Can they really like keep talking about it again by just saying, "Oh yeah, we're progressing. It's progress." We also announced a Mario movie like to yeah, I'm not sure, like, because Nintendo's main thing is still games, and they still got to tell the investors, like, what are they going to say to them again? Metroid Prime 4 still doesn't have a release date. Yeah, we still only have Luigi's Mansion 2 and Paper Mario in the pipeline. Pipeline. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could go in silence and just keep people like anticipating a Switch 2 announcement in June, or if that's even it's still going to be in June. I don't even know. Remember, the Switch was announced like 4 or 5 months before it came out, so June is pretty early if that thing's coming out early 2025.
Yeah, that is true. It's basically a year in advance, and I don't know if they would do that. But I do think, I am getting the sense that there will be something on the sooner end, but I don't think it's going to be the thing that people want. It's not going to be like a full-blown direct. I think we could have like a partner or like an indie direct or something in the near future, that possibly even this month. But I actually am thinking that Nintendo may wait it out now until possibly after or around Thousand Year Door before they really like do another showcase. And even then, it may not be for Switch 2. It may just be more for Switch, which is fine. I'm sure there is going to be more for Switch, but for one, I hope that's the case, and two, I would like to know what those are, because
Same
of course
here.
we don't have, like, Nintendo doesn't have the holiday title yet. Unless it's Metroid Prime 4, and even then they have to announce that at some point.
Right.
And so so there's at least one big game they haven't announced yet, I assume. Again, assuming it's not Metroid Prime 4, possibly more. There's very likely going to be I guess there's also Pokemon
Legends
ZA or whatever.
That's right. I forgot about that. And that's coming out next year too.
Oh, that's right. So, okay, that I rest my case then. That there's still a huge gap this year, like a massive gap that they're going to have to fill with at least a couple of titles. So I'm hoping that they're just like not more ports and more remakes, unless it happens to be, an online Double Dash or something that like adds like actual value, like an online like F-Zero GX online. Hey, that'd be great. Sure, I think a lot of people will be excited by that. But we need to know what those are sooner than later.
I'm going to say that a lot of times we do get the second half of the year window until I release, and we do need that new carrot. Like it was Tears of the Kingdom for a long time. Now it's kind of like Thousand Year Door. We need that new big title to look forward to. So it's going to be really telling around Summer Game Fest if they have a direct then about, is it going to be dwindling down, or are they saving more Switch releases, or is it nothing and it's just going to be Switch 2 stuff and we won't know anything?
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, like Andre was kind of saying, I don't even need like a Switch 2 reveal soon. I just want to know what I can play on my Switch this year. It's like that's really what I'm most concerned about.
Yeah,
it might be very little for all we know.
Yeah, Nintendo likes to do this thing, which I was hoping they wouldn't do this generation, but they like to make the last years of their consoles just bone dry for some strange, bizarre reason. It's interesting.
Sometimes we get crazy experimental titles, though. I love those.
And I would hope. Yeah, I mean, if Nintendo uses this time to actually give it something a little bit more off the wall, hey, I'm all for it. Like, I just want to know what it is, but it could be interesting. It could lead to some interesting, some unusual announcements, perhaps. But the thing is with those, they have to make those announcements at some point.
Right.
We got a kind comment from Charlotte and Hendrick TV. Says, "Hey, GameXplain, love your content." Thank you so much, Charlotte and Hendrick TV. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I'll actually use that to segue into one final thing here. If I can turn off the topical freeze.
One more thing.
But it's almost like not one more thing, because I've been working on this freaking project for months now, everyone, and especially the last few weeks. I was working like literally like 12 to 14 hours every day. I even stayed up for 36 hours trying to get this done last weekend in time for the 1-year anniversary of the Mario movie. I've been working on this freaking epic video, just like a 1 hour explanation, like deep dive into the movie, and I can't get it on YouTube. The YouTube will only post it because it uses scenes from the movie. So I've been trying to figure out a workaround, and I haven't yet. I thought I did, and I can't figure it out. So my goal is just to get it on the channel at some point. But I just wanted to let anyone know that if you are a Patreon member, you can check out a version of the video on our Patreon right now if you want to check it out. It's over an hour long. It's there now, and the early feedback has been positive. People seem to have liked it so far, which is great. But I'll eventually get on the channel, hopefully in the next, within the next week, if not sooner. But at this point, I don't know. It's been a thorn on my side. I had it ready to go for the 1-year anniversary of the Mario movie's release, and I can't post it. And it's annoying me because I still haven't figured out the proper solution on how to get on the channel. So it's frustrating.
It's the director's intended vision. You can watch it now.
Exactly. I will say I have been, as I've been trying to fix it up for the YouTube version, I have been making like smaller edits here and there, like adding a few things. So the final version will hopefully be even better, assuming there is a final version. But for right now, the only version you can watch is the one on our Patreon. And
Sylvie has a thing. Comment GameXplain. If you try to CRT filter, that helps most Pokemon channels. We might.
Okay. So I've tried a ton of things. I tried like having like a tiny little hole in the center where the only footage is. It still caught that. I tried having it in the corner of the screen. It caught that. I tried having it so every clip is literally 4 seconds or less. It caught that. The only things it hasn't caught is when I put 4 of them side by side, like like split screen. For some reason, it let that through, but I hated how that looked. I might have to try the CRT filter, Sylvie. Thanks for the idea on that. Let me give that a shot.
I have a friend who does reaction videos on his channel, and what he does is he puts like a sticker of something over the footage, and he brings the opacity down on it. And yeah, I think the sticker reads, "That's depression for you," or whatever. So I don't know, maybe a GameXplain logo or something. But the CRT filter sounds most ideal, assuming that works.
Yeah, part of it for me is like I really don't want to compromise how it looks too much, but if that's the only way to get up on the channel, then I think a CRT filter would be a decent middle ground. Sylvie, if you have like an image, if you could show me or like a video, that'd be awesome, so I could just see what the filter looks like. But I think I know what you're saying. I don't know if my editor has that natively. I'll have to take a look. So
I wonder if it's just like rounding it and like lines across for the scan.
Yeah, well, I've already tried the rounded thing, so that alone did not work. But maybe combining it with the CRT filter, that should
a fisheye effect kind of.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I'll play around with it a little bit more. I would love to get it up soon because I was so excited for it, but that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, just want to give everyone a quick update on that. I've been teasing that I've been working on a massive project, and I just wanted to show like, yeah, it's done. It's been done. I just can't post the darn thing. So that sounds great, Sylvie. Thanks. So anyways, do we have anything else we need to discuss this week, Joey or Tom?
Not really. Nope. I think we covered all bases.
Happy I didn't fall asleep during this from jet lag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same here.
Get some sleep, Tom.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay right now.
Don't end the stream until I come back. Okay, Sylvie.
So James had put the 1920 sepia scratched film look. I actually tried that. I actually did that, and it didn't work. It caught that too. And I put like a heavy filter on that one. So that's why I'm a little skeptical of the CRT one working, but we'll see. So.
I remember this being a whole fiasco like 10 years ago. But it's like, you're not breaking any laws because fair use is a thing. Fair use. Like, but companies don't care. They don't care.
Like literally, like I've cut up the movie so freaking much. It's unwatchable. I'm talking over the entire thing, and even then, like literally every clip I use like relates to what I'm discussing. So it's just so annoying that Universal like dialed down their tolerance for the Mario movie, or maybe every movie they have, to like nothing. Like wherever it catches any amount of it, it's like your entire video is gone. So
Chris Pratt himself doesn't exist on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Universal owns Chris Pratt. So
you know what, Universal? I'm never going to your theme parks again. That's a lie. I'll still be going to your theme parks.
Yep. Yeah, no, Super Nintendo World's pretty good.
It's not worth it, Joey. You have to go to Super Nintendo World.
Oh yeah, Sylvie, if you're trying to post a link, Sylvie, I don't think it's going to work on YouTube chats. Feel free to tweet it at GameXplain or at Andre if you have a Twitter account.
So James asking a really good question. How did the Easter egg videos work? And this is a great question because I was wondering that too. That's why I didn't have any concerns about my video working, because the Easter egg video ran fine. The only reason I can think is because that was more highly edited, in the sense that I wasn't showing as many full clips, but I was like freezing it constantly, zooming in and out. So I think that might be it, which it might be what I have to do here. I might have to like freeze them more. But I was able, the weird thing is I did a test where I just took the existing video, I froze every scene freeze framed every scene after 4 seconds, and that worked. But then I went back yesterday and started editing every scene to be 4 seconds or less, and that didn't work. So I wonder that the freeze frame is like an essential component of it, where it needs to like stop every now and then and not just be like sheer footage all the way through. So yeah, I'll have to, maybe I just need to edit it more. So I mean, worst case, I could use like a series of like still frames, but that'd be really boring, I think. So
Andre, you just need an arrow flying around spinning. It'll be okay.
All the
I
time.
should just like be on screen just pointing at things like randomly, never relate to what I'm talking about. So okay, here's a random question before we leave. Gift asks, do you think Kevin Afghani has succeeded Charles Martinet as the voice of Waluigi?
Undoubtedly so, I think.
Yeah,
I think
if he's already I'm here's the thing. I am surprised kind of that he's voicing all the Mario, like so far he's voiced all the Mario alts that there are. I thought they were going to have to get different actors for different roles. Kind of like, how Mel Blanc voiced all the Looney Tunes, but then like no one's ever as talented as Mel Blanc, so they had to hire different actors to play different roles. Some of them voice like multiple roles, but Kevin Afghani seems to be the guy who's just like, yeah, I can do Mario, I can do Luigi, I can do Wario. We haven't seen Waluigi yet, so we'll have to see how. A lot of people were trashing his Wario voice. I thought it was fine. I thought it was really good, but people are like, no, it's not Charles. And I'm like, come on, y'all.
I will say
his Wario voice is at least better than the Mario voice he used in the Mario Day video.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen the Mario Day video, but I think I might have heard a soundbite from that. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit different, but here's the thing, man. You gotta expect some change when new voice actors are brought in. Like, if this character sounds the exact same all the way through, what's the point? I think it's totally fine. Every version of Mickey Mouse sounds different, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, it just changes hard sometimes, and
changes hard.
It's interesting because we had this fairly significant change with the Mario movie, and it didn't stand out to me there, and I wonder like why. Maybe because it's a different medium, I was
different medium. He wasn't trying to make the voice. He wasn't trying to do the Mario
key thing too. Like it was. I think maybe that actually kind of to your point, Joey. I think maybe that's why it stood out, because like it's still clearly trying to mimic Charles Martinet's Mario, but it doesn't quite hit on the same register at times, and that's when it really stands out. Whereas I think if he had gone in more, if they had allowed him perhaps to go in more of his own direction, that wouldn't be as jarring at times. And I think that's why it stands out. I will say for most of Wonder, like I didn't even notice at all, like it was a different guy. But that Mario Day video, I'm like, ooh, that's a little weird sounding. So.
Or there was also video we did of is Charles Martinet being erased by Nintendo because of a WarioWare game that clearly used Afghani's voice in Mario 64. Right. People are still mad at us for that video, and I don't get it.
Part of it too is that we kind of accepted that having Charles Martinet voicing Mario for an entire movie might not work. And, he got cameos in the movie, so that might have eased.
And there were great cameos too. Yeah. Where he's literally playing the original Mario as well as Mario's dad. Like I thought that was a really cute way of paying tribute to the voice actors. So
I still get annoyed at people who are like, it should have been the game voice actors for not just Mario, for like everyone. And they are always like, I don't care if it would have sounded goofy the entire movie. And I'm like, you say that.
You say that. Then it would have been destroyed by probably you as well for it.
I remember someone saying Seth Rogen sounds nothing like Donkey Kong. And I'm like, what does Donkey Kong sound like?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing we have to go off of really are ape noises and the Donkey Kong cartoon.
Yeah, and the Donkey Kong
cartoon. That's a good
exactly.
Well done.
Thank you.
Actually, yeah, spot on.
And Princess Peach sounds nothing like Princess Peach, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't want Peach talking like this the entire. That sounds more like Toad, but
I want Joey doing Peach now for the entire duration of the movie.
Yes, let's do it. Make it happen.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap up there, everyone. That was a fun pipeline. Thanks for joining us here. We'll be back. Should be back next Friday, hopefully with me having finished my Mario movie video that by then. We'll see. That's the hope. Fingers crossed. Yes, exactly. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. It's been a fun week. We started off with the Wii U and 3DS shutting down live stream. Now we have Pipeline, and we'll be back, next week, probably on Monday with Mario Kart Monday, Tuesday with Triss and Mario and Luigi, Wednesday, hopefully, with my Mario Party streams. Nothing Thursday planned, maybe unless there's some Nintendo news. And then, of course, Friday with Pipeline. So there's our schedule, everyone. On that note, catch you later. Have a good weekend, and see ya.
Do the wave. Just keep smiling.